Here we have the data that we've been dealing with in this table section, but quite plain, no colours involved, because we're now going to explore as to how you get that colour. Now the quickest way to get that colour is actually to choose a pre-existing table design. These designs are available to you if you click into a table, go to Table Tools and Design. This section here, Table Styles, is how you can change the colours or the style, which also affects the borders of your table. We're currently viewing our table with this little style, which is the table grid. Now you can move across slightly and you can see without any clicking we get to preview that style. And this is the table grid but light, so the borders are a light grey as opposed to black. Then we have plain table 1, which has alternating background colours, making it slightly easier to read. The next one, plain table 2, has underlined each item, but there are no vertical columns. The third one gives us a vertical line after the first column. Now those are the plainish ones, but if you click this expansion, you get to see there are lots of other choices that include colour. So different grid tables, and you can see as you move over each one, you're getting these options previewed. So if I choose that orange one there with a dark orange header, you see that I get dark orange header, but there are no bars between each header. And then it goes orange, white, orange, with the names all in bold. And that's because of the table style options we've selected, which is a first column, which is causing that first column to go bold. If I don't want that, I turn off the first column feature. The header row is what's causing the top row to be an orange background colour. I can turn that off and it just becomes a normal row. The total row is turned off, but I can turn it on, which makes the bottom row have that double line break above it. Turn that off. Banded rows are the different background colours. I can turn that off. But I could turn on banded columns instead. Or I could turn on both. Or I could turn on the last column feature, which will embolden the last column. So each of these turn on and off options apply to the certain style you've chosen. So I could now change to a different style, let's say a greenish one, but it remembers the options I've retained. So I want banded rows, but I also want banded columns. Let's turn off banded columns. And we've got green banded rows. But I want a header row so that the top row stands out. But I don't want the first column, and let's turn off the last column. So even though these predefined styles exist and allow you to choose from the list, you can then turn on or off which feature from that predefined list you do or don't want. Now alternatively, if I come to my second table, instead of choosing one of the predefined styles, I can just colour in the background any colour I wish. By selecting the cells I wish to affect, which in this case is my top row, and go to the shading tin pot here, there's a little drop down, which gives me access to the theme colours or the standard colours, or I can go into more colours, choose from the hexagon, or create my own colour. So let's stick with the theme colours, and I can choose anything I like. So I want to go quite dark orangey, or should we go blue? Blue looks quite good. Now I've chosen the dark blue as the background. If I click away, I can see that Word, very nicely, because I've chosen the darkest setting, has inverted my text colour, so has changed my font colour to white, which makes it stand off and look much more presentable. So this isn't choosing a design style where I can turn on banded rows. This is simply I've selected the cells and changed the background colour, the shading. So I could do the same, let's say for the United States to make that stand out. Shading, and let's go dark orange, and that will make the United States background colour stand out. Now if it so happens that the background colour you choose is quite dark, but Word hasn't been so nice to you to amend the font, you can do that yourself. Simply select those cells again, and in the little hover box we know we can change the font colour here, and I'm going to change it to a light grey. So you either go with the table styles as we did in this top table, where there are plenty to choose from, and you can even turn on or off options within those table styles, or you do it manually by selecting the cell or cells and using the little tin pot shading to choose your own background colour, and then the font option for choosing the font foreground colour.